Alright guys, welcome back again on my YouTube channel. You guys know that this is where I come on every week to analyze the forex market, to share with you guys my knowledge on what I know, my price action, the one that I'm using to trade the market, and every trade that I'm taking. I'll always come here to show you guys the one that is going well, the one that is not going well. So if I'm new to this my channel, my name is Preston God, and this is a segment of my channel where I call trade idea. I come on here to analyze the market as always every weekend. So before I talked about how I entered this Euro AUD trade, I want us to first start with the DSY. That means the dollar index. Let me show you guys what's really happening there. So previously last week I told you guys that the dollar index is bullish. 2 weeks ago we closed with this this is what we call evening star. You can see this star, that this candlestick that is here, it is called the evening star. And now we close with the following week, that's last week, we close with a full bullish engulfing candle. And I told you guys that there was a minor level, that if this level can hold the dollar index, that we will be very much more bullish. Now, before the end of last week, that's a few days ago, the US government had a shutdown. That's the US was on shutdown, which made the market to start acting funny around this area. You can see that the market closed with a daily bearish candle. Instead of closing with a bullish daily candle, it closed with a bearish daily candle to show, because of the impact of that news. And last week, Friday, we're supposed to have NFP. That was on 3rd of October, but because of the shutdown, so NFP was scrapped out, so there was nothing like NFP. This is first, I don't know whether it's first in history, but since I have been trading, this is my first time on the first Friday of the month that there was not NFP. I haven't seen it before. So because of that news, I think every other dollar pair, maybe whether they put or any currency that is paired with the dollar, I think it might be having some issue here about, because people, all this is all about psychology. People will now start to be selling off their dollar in form of, now they'll start be holding other currency pair. So we hope that the shutdown, they will soon resolve the issue. We hope, because if they didn't resolve it, and I heard that they will still continue with it from this week we are in now. So we pray that the issue is being resolved. Now, looking at what's happening in the chart, because that is the fundamentals, but now let's look at the technicals. Now, this level right here is holding the dollar index very well. So I expect in the following week, that's this week now, I expect to see a bullish, like a bullish momentum to the upside. And where my take profit is around 98.738. You guys can see it, or we can first clear this level, 98.493. So guys, for the dollar index, I am bullish regardless of the news. I am bullish, but this is now 50-50. But yeah, technically I am bullish on the dollar index. So next on my list is the Euro AUD. I took this trade this last week. I took it last week, and if you want to see how I've been analyzing this trade for the past, it's up to 2 weeks now, I've been following up with this trade. Just go back to my previous videos on my channel. You go there, you will see this particular analysis that I did, weeks ago, when the market was trading around this area, and I was anticipating for a pullback, and the pullback happened, but the pullback was so deep, and I was waiting for the right entry. Now I had my entry on, that should be Monday. I can't remember when I entered this market, but it was early last week, Monday. Within Monday, Tuesday, I spotted this. But before I spotted it, I want to just a quick recap on how I have been following up with this trade. First of all, let's go to the monthly time frame. You guys can see what's happening on the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame is sitting, or will I say, is at a resistant level. So it is rejecting off from this level, and if you can check from your left, this level held here. So the market has been resisting from this level and started to print a candlestick that shows a bearish momentum. So I don't trade on the monthly time frame. I just use it to check my trend, to know where the market, when the trend wants to change, or whether the market is on uptrend or downtrend. So next I scale down to the weekly time frame to see the movement, how everything is happening, whether it is in the same line with the monthly time frame. And as you guys can see, the weekly was bullish. Let me just put this here. At the time the weekly was bullish, then it broke below this higher low. You can see this was the recent higher low. The market came and break below it. So technically this level is supposed to be here. You guys can see what really happened here. The market came and break below it. So if I scale down to 1 hour to daily time frame, you can see many zones. So here there's so many zones that is inside here. So if you're not careful, you might lose a trade here. So the market came and break below it. If I can, let me put this line chart so you guys can see what I'm saying. You see, this was the higher low. The market came break below it and now retested back to it. So let's go to the daily time frame so the chart will be more clearer. Now you guys can see the this was the weekly higher low that I marked out. Now if you can look closely, you will see this. It is not down picture perfect head and shoulder, because I spotted this head and shoulder also. This is on the daily time frame. So the market came break below it, and the law of price action state that if the market came break a head and shoulder, it must come back to retest the neck. And it didn't only come to retest at the neck side, it came and it even broke above it. So what gave me the confidence to still continue selling this market is this bearish engulfing candle that we are seeing right here. So you guys can see, if I can bring this thing out, you guys can see that this is the neckline. The market break and break above it and close below it with a daily bearish engulfing candle. Then I now mark out all my levels, just start to mark it out, and as you guys can see, there's also a level above here. So there are multiple levels. So I was very careful so that I will not get confused and start marking out nonsense level. So I was seeing all these levels, seeing it, I was okay. Now that the daily time frame is bearish, weekly bearish, monthly bearish, now it's time for me to enter this market. How I enter it, I went to the 4 hours time frame. If you go to the 4 hours time frame, you can see another chart pattern. This was the chart pattern that I used to enter it on the 4 hours time frame. Now after the market rally all the way to the upside, I can see started to form an imperfect double top. But this one, I can't call it that it was that good double top, but you guys can see it, and this was the neckline. So I was holding, I just put a line at that neckline to see when the market will break. At the time I was not having this zone right here, because I was having this zone above here. This was where my zones is. So I was just waiting for this neckline to break, and the neckline break. I was just having my patience, and it retraced back to it, and still start forming another chart pattern inside it. And this is a 4 hours time frame, so I don't want to waste any more time further. I enter at the close at this bearish engulfing 4 hour candle here. I enter for a stop loss above this level. You guys can see it. My first TP was here, then my second or my final TP was around this area. So this was where my final TP is. Then the market came, hit my first level target, then I move all my stop loss to break even, and the market came and tapped me out with this candle. You guys can see this wick, this thing that happened here, this bearish candle. It came and wicked me out on a break even. So currently I'm not in this trade here, but I'm still going to enter for a sell if the market can break below. On Euro AUD, I am still bearish, so I will still be looking out for another chart pattern. Let me remove this. I'll still be looking out for another retracement to this level. If the market can retrace to this level right here, so we might be having another sell opportunity. So I'll be waiting for the market to come back to this level. then give us another entry pattern here, then I can sell all the way to the downside. So just click the link on my description, that you see my Telegram link there. Click it, you will see all these trades that I'm talking about. That is where I normally drop my signal, and you guys can come and even go and check all these trades. This one that I just analyzed here, you guys can also see it there. So next on my list is USDCHF. So currently I'm in this trade. I entered this trade. I entered it first on Wednesday, or is that either Wednesday or Tuesday? I entered the first trade, then it hit my stop loss, then I re-enter it again after seeing another confirmation. So as you guys can see on the weekly time frame, the market is bullish. It's giving off a double bottom, with these weak rejections here. So there is not much thing to check here, because go to my previous video, you will see where I analyze this thing. Then I go to the daily time frame, where I still check for the trend of the market, and you guys can see the daily time frame was bearish, and at the time it shifted bullish. You guys can see, let me show you. So this was the daily time frame. It was bearish, making lower highs and lower low, lower high, lower low, then make another lower high, lower low, then break above it. So you guys can see how the trend normally change, and when it's breaking above it, it's forming a chart pattern there. You guys can see that head and shoulder pattern forming, break above it, retest back to the neckline, now forming this was a first higher high the market form. Sorry, this was the first higher low the market form. Now this is the second higher higher lows. Now this now become the new higher high. You can see how this market really changed, now making this thing to be a head and shoulder pattern. And you guys know how we trade a head and shoulder pattern. We always trade at the retracement of the neckline. So on the 4 hours time frame, where I entered this market, my first entry was around this area, after I was waiting for the market to come and liquidate some people around this area, around this all this liquidity that is sitting here. I waited patiently. I told my my subscriber that we'll have to wait for the market to come and take them out. After taking them out, closing with a bullish engulfing candle, I entered it. My stop loss was below here. Then the market came and did another liquidity grab. So I was out of the market, but I knew that the market was still bullish. So after the liquidity grab, the market still closed above my level. This is what made me to know that the market might still be bullish. So I re-entered again. So a couple of days, the market, it will come into profit. It will still bounce back to entry level. So on Friday, it came up here. Either Friday or Thursday, it came up here. I think that we are about to hit our first level target. All of a sudden, like I said earlier, the US shut down. So that make the market to act very funny, and you guys can see the candle that was just rejecting. So I'll just leave it, and this is the USDCHF. I just leave it till this week. Anything that happen, we'll move on and look at next trade. So next on my list is USD-CAD. There's not much on USD-CAD, still acting and still preparing itself. Euro USD, same thing. I am bearish on Euro USD. Go to my previous video, you will see how I analyze this thing. So now we are sitting at this resistance level. It's holding us. This resistance level is holding the market very, very strong, and you guys can see all this weak rejection. And now the market haven't even shifted. Let's say I'm seeing a head and shoulder pattern. The market has broke below it. You guys can see this is something like a neckline. If I put this in on the 2 hours time frame, you guys can see what I mean. Okay, very perfect. So this is the neckline. Let me use this head and shoulder tool that I find very, very interesting. Left shoulder, you guys can see what's happening. Head, right shoulder, then the market break below it. You guys can see what's happening here, then start to retrace back. So this is a head and shoulder pattern happening in a resistance level, and you guys can know that this is very, very strong. But now the market has retraced inside the head and shoulder pattern, so looking very, very confusing. The only way I can be able to sell this market if we can be able to break with a bearish 4-hour candle. 4-hour candle, no, it's not a, or we will see a retracement on the 2-hour candle, 2-hour time frame, sorry, or I will still scale that to 1 hour to check all this movement so that I will not miss it. If you just wait for it patiently to break below it, then retrace back, so we can be able to sell it to the downside, man. You know, this market is so simple. If you know how to analyze, just understand your price action, just follow the trend, so we can just sell it. You know, just understand all these things, and you will know that you are good to go. So quickly, NZD USD. So what's really happening in NZD USD? NZD USD for now, I don't have any trade. We are still bullish on the daily time frame. So the market is just arranging itself. When I analyzed this market previously, I was anticipating it to come to this level, or where I would love it to come is around this level, because it makes more sense if I'm selling around this area, because it will match with my Fibonacci retracement too. Perfect. You see that level? I would like for it to retrace back to this level, but if it decide to hold so strong on this level and I start to see a rejection, maybe daily candle bearish, engulfing candle daily, you know, closing below here, I might be looking for a sell. So on AUDJPY, I'm bullish. I am bullish weekly. We are bullish on the weekly time frame. Here I can see the trend. This was when we were bearish. I can see how bearish we were until we shifted bullish and give this head and shoulder pattern. This was the neckline. The market break above the neckline and retest back to it. You see, when you just understand all this thing, whenever there's going to be a trend, a change of trend, the market will always give us a chart pattern. Now it break above this level again and retracing back to it, so I'm anticipating for it to reach this level. So on AUDJPY, I am bullish. I'm bullish, just waiting patiently. The market have came back and retest to this level and turn it to a support level, and you guys can see we still have other minor levels around this area. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's see what's really happening on the 4-hour time frame. Boom. Here I can see this beautiful head and shoulder pattern. This is so beautiful, beautiful invert head and shoulder pattern forming right here. See, just wait for it. Perfect break. So the move is already happening. It is happening, guys. So on Monday, I'll be looking for an entry on this particular pair on AUDJPY. Maybe my final TP will be above here, or I will just use around this area as my final TP, you know, because there are multiple zones here. Or I will hold to the resistance level in any way. But you guys can see what I normally told you guys. This head and shoulder pattern is one of the best chart pattern that you can use to trade this market. So quickly, I don't want this video to be long. Let me just do a quick analysis. Next is on GBPJPY. Same thing. I don't need to analyze much thing. So same thing, I'm still bullish on GBPJPY. Bullish, just waiting for some pullback at this neckline. You guys can see this head and shoulder forming inside the the support level there. You can see perfect head and shoulder pattern forming right there. You guys can see it. Break above it. Let's wait for a retracement back to this level, then we can take it to the upside. So I am bullish on GBP. AUDJPY, I am bullish. Not waiting for the market, then use here as my final take profit. Guys, I'm not going to take all this trade, but anyone that presents itself very fast is the one that I'm going to take. Already I am in a trade on USDCHF. So on NZD, no, on EURNZD, I am bullish on EURNZD, just waiting for the market to come back to this particular level. You can see this is a trend of the market. You can see the weekly is bullish. You see this trend, and the market has break above this higher high. So I'm waiting for it to retrace back. So this is just simple. Like, there's nothing too hard in forex. So if you can understand technical analysis, you are good to go. Now I want the same thing that happened around this area to happen here. You see the break above the resistance level, came back and turned it to a support level, making it a higher low, creating a new higher high. Now the market has come again and break above it, creating a new higher high. Now we want another new higher low to be formed around this area, and then we'll be taking our buys from there. So on this pair also, I am still bullish. Also remember, my first level target will always be 100% retracement, where the market retrace from. That will be my first level target. Depending on how this market will react, I might skip that first level target and use my final level target. So last but not the least is GBP and ZD. I am still bullish on this pair, but all right, still bullish. You see the break above here, so I will still be watching this market to see whether it will still come back. There's another level inside here, so whichever level the market decide to come back to is where we'll be buying it from. If we see a proper rejection here, or the market decided to do a liquidity sweep, touch this level around here, then we'll still be having a buy. So there are two things involved here. Either you are buying from here, buying from this level, or we'll be buying from here. So we'll keep our finger crossed. Whatever the market want to do, we'll still join the trend. Alright guys, this is it for the week video. So if you like the educational content that I'm creating here, I want you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also share my video to your friend that might need it. You know, some beginners, some people that are having issue with their technical analysis, share this video to them. And I'll also see you guys on my next video. So peace out.